Hello everybody and welcome to our virtual Infinite Educational Program. Today's lesson is about reading comprehension, summary making, and translation. If you are interested in such kind of skills and sub-skills, you are cordially required to keep watching our channel. I will be more than happy to meet you after the break. See you then. Dear students, welcome back to my new lesson. A few seconds ago, I said I would be dealing with, as you can see here, reading comprehension, summary making, and translation. In your exams, the reading comprehension will be allotted 30 marks. Summary making will be allotted 10 marks. As for the translation, this task will be allotted 10 marks. Now let's have a look or an idea about what type of reading comprehension passages you will sit for. The reading text may be a story, or it may be a chart, or it could be an email, right? Now, the reading comprehension passage will vary from 350 words till 400 words. Let's have an idea about the types of questions that you will encounter in your exams. You will sit for two types of questions. The first one is called multiple choice questions. These questions will be allotted 18 marks. And the second type is productive questions, or as it is said in English, open-ended questions. They will be allotted 12 marks. Now, as for the multiple choice questions, you may be asked about the right title of the passage, or a reference word question, or you may be asked about the main idea of the passage, or you may be asked about giving synonyms or antonyms. Now, what about the productive questions? As you can see here on the screen, questions are designed to encourage a full, meaningful answer using the information in the passage. So you are not allowed to give any piece of information outside the reading comprehension passage. Let's now focus on the reading comprehension techniques or strategies that you are required to follow. First of all, I strongly recommend to read the questions first. By doing this, you will kill two birds with one stone. First of all, you will have an overall idea about the reading comprehension passage, but on top of that, you will save a lot of time. So let's have an idea about the questions of today's reading passage. The first question is from A, B, C, and D. Choose the correct answer. So it's, as you can see here, a multiple choice question. The first question is, as you can see here, this passage is mainly about Japan's strict immigration laws, Japan's aging population and its causes, Japan's natural catastrophes in the last decade, Japan's technological progress in the 21st century. So here we have to choose only one option. The second question reads, what is the opposite of the word persist in paragraph number 1? Is it continue? Is it obtain, pretend, or stop? In this case, you have to read the sentence in which the word persist exists, and you have to know the meaning of the word through context. The following questions: why are Japanese couples unwilling to have children? Go now. You have to choose only one option, because having a child costs a lot. because life expectancy is very low, because there are many daycare centers, or because they are not allowed to have children. Then we move to the following question. What does the underlined word staggeringly in paragraph number 2 mean? Again, here we have to focus on the context of the sentence in which you will find the word. Does it mean economically, or traditionally, or expectedly, or surprisingly? Then we move to type 2, which are open-ended questions or productive questions. This is your first question. What does the figure 1.3% in the text represent? What does it refer to? Why do Japanese teenagers tend to move from the countryside to the cities? What effect does marrying after the age of 30 have on a married couple? Now, as we have read the questions, it's clear that our passage is about the population in Japan. Now, let's have a look at the reading. Japan's population is becoming older and older. Last year alone, Japanese population dropped by almost 300,000. Almost 30% of 127 million Japanese people are over 65, while the number of children under 14 has decreased to 13%. The new figures are really alarming and show that Japan has one of the fastest aging populations in the world. By 2050, Japan's population is projected to drop to 95 million if the present rates of decline persist. Many causes are leading to Japan's decline in population. For one, birth rates are staggeringly low, 1.3%, among the lowest of all developed countries. On the other side, the baby boom generation of the 50s and 60s is reaching the retirement age. Strict immigration laws have also had an effect on Japan's population, as well as the decline of the foreigners living in the country after 2011 Fukushima nuclear disaster. Only 2% of Japan's people are foreigners, compared to well over 5% in many other Western countries. Japan's government is trying hard to deal with the problem of an aging society. Welfare costs have gone up and medical costs are increasing. While more hospitals, doctors, and medical equipment are needed, there are fewer people in the workforce who pay taxes. In addition, life expectancy in Japan is among the highest in the world. The population decline has hit rural areas more than urban ones. In the countryside, the elderly are left behind, while the younger generation tends to move to the cities for better living conditions and more work opportunities. Japan's couples have fewer babies because it means financial burdens they are not prepared to take on them. There are not enough daycare centers to look after children as more and more women enter the workforce. Population researchers claim that the Japanese government is not doing enough for families. Having a child costs a lot, and most Japanese couples can only make ends meet if both husband and wife work. Many Japanese prefer not to get married until they are over 30, which reduces the chances of having a baby. Now, as we have read the text, now let's move to answer our questions, of course, referring to the text. No pieces of information outside the text are allowed. Now, let's talk about the main idea of the reading passage. This passage is mainly about, is it Japan's strict immigration laws, Japan's aging population and its causes, Japan's natural catastrophes in the last decade, or Japan's technological progress in the 21st century? Okay, now we have to concentrate. Very good. This is your answer. Japan's aging population and its causes. Let's justify our answer for ourselves. After answering, okay, try to go back to the text and check your answer. So, This piece of information is very important. Japan's population is becoming older and older. This piece of information is also important. This one, okay, many causes are leading to Japan's decline in population. And the last one, okay, strict immigration laws have also had an effect on Japan's population as well as the decline of the foreigners. Now, these four pieces of information make sure, okay, or help us to make sure that our answer is correct. Now, let's move to the following question. What is the opposite of persist in paragraph number 1? The sentence is in front of you. By 2050, the Japanese population is projected to drop to 95 million if the present rates of decline persist. Is it continue, obtain, pretend, or stop? Here we have to go back to the text. The word persist is written in bold and underlined. If you want to concentrate on the context, we can understand that the word persist means to continue. So we can replace the word persist by the word continue. And all of you know that the opposite of continue is what? Let's go back now. Is it continue, obtain, pretend, or stop? Okay, very good. Your answer is this. It's stop. So the opposite of persist is stop. Let's move. Why are Japanese couples unwilling to have children? Okay. So the answer, it may be A, B, C, and D, because having a child costs a lot, because life expectancy is very low, because there are many daycare centers, or because they are not allowed to have children. Think about it. Very good. This is your answer. Because having a child costs a lot. I always advise my students to go back to the text just to check their answer. So let's go back to the text to make sure that our answer is correct. This is very important. Japan's couples have fewer babies because it means financial burdens. And burdens here means responsibilities. Okay? So they need a lot of money in order to be able to spend money on their newborn children. Let's move to the following question. What does the underlined word staggeringly in paragraph number 2 mean? The sentence is in front of you. For one, birth rates are staggeringly low. 1.3% among the lowest of all developed countries. Does it mean economically, or traditionally, or surprisingly, or expectedly? Okay, very good. Your answer is surprisingly. Let's go back now to the reading comprehension passage to make sure that our answer is correct. This is the word, staggeringly, as you can see here. Very good. Now, if you want to know its meaning, it's surprisingly. Why? Because it is among the lowest of all developed countries. That's why it's something surprising. Now, let's move to the productive questions, or the open-ended questions. Answer the following questions referring to the text. What does the figure 1.3% in the text represent? Okay, the answer is this. It represents the birth rate in Japan. Again, we have to go back to our text or to passage to make sure that our answer is correct. This is the proof. Japan's decline in population. For one, birth rates are staggering low, 1.3% among the lowest of all developed countries. The following question, why do Japanese teenagers tend to move from the countryside to the cities? Of course, here you are not required to give your own set book questions from the Over to You textbook series. No, you have to focus on the reading comprehension, because sometimes you find other factors that you have in your books which are not mentioned in this text. So please stick to the reading comprehension and try to focus on the required pieces of information you have in your text. Now, again, what do Japanese teenagers tend to move from the countryside to the cities? The answer is this. They seek better living conditions and more work opportunities. And again here, we go back to the text to check whether our answer is correct or not. This is the proof for your answer. Younger generation tends to move to the cities for better living conditions and more work opportunities. No pieces of information are required more than this piece. Let's move to the following question. What effect does marrying after the age of 30 have on a married couple? Which means in Japan, they willingly get married after the age of 30. Why? According to the text, because their chances of having a baby will be reduced. They are looking for ways to stop giving birth to babies. Let's go back to the text, and this is your proof. Many Japanese prefer not to get married until they are over 30, which reduces the chances of having a baby. Why? Because the cost is very high. They are unable to spend money on them. Now let's move to summary making. As I have already said, you will have a long text with at least 350 words. In this text, you will have two types of questions. As we have already said, multiple choice, productive questions, and summary making question. The summary making is included in the reading comprehension. This is the question. Read paragraph 2 and, in no less than 4 sentences of your own, write about the 4 major causes of the decline in Japan's population. This question is allotted 10 marks. For every correct sentence, you will get 2.5. Now, let's go to paragraph number 2. Okay, now you are kindly requested to focus on this paragraph and always try to get the 4 ideas, and then you express yourselves with words or sentences from your own. Of course, here you have to, I refer to what we call cohesive devices or linkers in order to connect the 4 sentences that you are required to produce. Let's have a look at the paragraph then. Many causes are leading to Japan's decline in population. For one, birth rates are staggering low, 1.3% among the lowest of all developed countries. Now, what piece of information can you come out and write about in your piece of summary making? It's clear here that we are talking about the low birth rates. So you have to produce a sentence which is closely related to this factor. Try to avoid words from the reading comprehension. Try to express yourselves in your own words. Let's move now to the second sentence. On the other side, the baby boom generation of the 50s and 60s is reaching the retirement age. What is the main idea of this sentence? Try to think about it. Very good. It's clear that you are talking about the retirement age. Of course, the retirement age. So here you are required to produce a sentence about retirement age. This sentence must be linked with the first sentence. Now you have to think of a logical cohesive device or a logical linker in order to get a kind of unity between the 2 sentences. Let's move now. Strict immigration laws have also had an effect on Japan's population. It's clear here that we are talking about strict immigration laws in Japan. The last piece of information, as well as the decline of the foreigners living in the country after 2011 and so on. It's clear here that we are talking about the decline of foreigners. I always advise my students, whenever they come out with these pieces of information, they forget about the reading passage. Why? Because you are required to give a paragraph in your own words. Don't take words from the reading comprehension. Now let's give you my suggestion. It's not the only suggestion. You may give a suggestion better than it. I'd like to talk about low birth rates, retirement age, strict immigration laws, decline of foreigners. This is my summary. population decline in Japan is caused by the low birth rates. This is my first sentence. In addition, this is a linker. I have to link the sentences. Japan suffers from an aging society. Then we have to link the second sentence with the third one. Moreover, strict immigration laws have decreased the number of foreigners. Now I'd like to finish my paragraph. I'd like to give my fourth sentence, so I have chosen the linker or the cohesive device. Finally, the number of foreigners has dramatically declined because of some disasters. As I have already said, this is not the only option. You can think of better paragraphs, okay, to get full mark, of course. Now let's move to translation. My first translation is from English to Arabic. Translate the third paragraph into good Arabic. This question will be allotted 6 marks. Where's my paragraph? It's here. Okay. Now, this is the paragraph that you are required to translate. Try to avoid word-to-word translation. Why? Because you will fall in the trap that you are going to think in Arabic and express in English, which is not good. Okay? Try to read the paragraph and try to underline the words, okay, that need a close translation. Okay? Let's, for example, take this word. Deal with the problem. Of course, Japan's government is trying hard. Okay, it's a very easy, very easy word. They are very easy words. So deal with the problem. How would you translate it into Arabic? يحل مشكلة, for example. يحل مشكلة. Deal with the problem. أو يحل المشكلة. Then, this word may be new for you. Aging society. Of course, society is المجتمع, but aging, what is aging society? It's تهرم المجتمع, which means that most of the population of this society are elderly people. Okay? The number of young people is very small. So aging society can be translated into تهرم المجتمع. Then let's look for maybe this word, okay? Welfare. Welfare, according to the context of the reading passage that we have today, it may mean, for example, الخدمات الاجتماعية, right? Then let's move to this word. There are fewer people in the workforce. Workforce. It's clear that it has close relation to employment and unemployment. So how would you translate this word? Workforce. It could be translated into القوة العاملة, which means both men and women who go and work in order to earn money. We have another word that needs a close translation, which is taxes. Okay, to pay a tax. Taxes means الضرائب. Taxes means الضرائب. The last word is expectancy. I guess that you are quite familiar with such word because you have a unit in your Overview textbook series that deals with this word, expectancy, life expectancy. So life expectancy means معدل الحياة. Of course, life expectancy varies from one society to another according to the development and the health development of its inhabitants. Let's try to translate this paragraph together. So after getting the most difficult or maybe the unfamiliar words, okay, aside, now try to translate the overall meaning of the paragraph. Don't stick to words. As I have already said, word to word or word by word translation is not advisable. This is my translation. You may have a better one, but this is my suggestion. So, translation for this paragraph. Let me remind you of the paragraph. Japan's government is trying hard to deal with the problem of an aging society. Welfare costs have gone up and medical costs are increasing. While more hospitals, doctors, and medical equipment are needed, there are fewer people in the workforce who pay taxes. In addition, life expectancy in Japan is among the highest in the world. This is my translation. Japan's government is trying hard to deal with the problem of an aging society. تسعى الحكومة اليابانية جاهدة للوصول لحل مشكلة تهرم المجتمع. This is translation for the first sentence. Now let's focus on the second sentence. Welfare costs have gone up and medical costs are increasing. فلقد ازدادت تكاليف الخدمات الاجتماعية كما تفاقمت تكاليف العلاج الطبيعي. Let's move to the third sentence. While more hospitals, doctors, and medical equipment are needed, there are fewer people in the workforce who pay taxes. ففي الوقت الذي ازدادت فيه الحاجة لمزيد من المستشفيات والأطباء والمعدات الطبية، فإن قليلا من القوى العاملة يقومون بدفع الضرائب. Now let's move to the last sentence. In addition, life expectancy in Japan is among the highest in the world. My last sentence in Arabic. وبالإضافة إلى ذلك فإن معدل الحياة في اليابان يعد الأعلى في العالم. After finishing your translation into Arabic, I always advise my students to go back to the Arabic text just to check the unity of the sentences in the paragraph. So let's go back to the paragraph. تسعى الحكومة اليابانية جاهدة للوصول لحل مشكلة تهرم المجتمع، فلقد ازدادت تكاليف الخدمات الاجتماعية كما تفاقمت تكاليف العلاج الطبيعي. ففي الوقت الذي ازدادت فيه الحاجة لمزيد من المستشفيات والأطباء والمعدات الطبية، فإن قليلا من القوى العاملة يقومون بدفع الضرائب. وبالإضافة إلى ذلك فإن معدل الحياة في اليابان يعد الأعلى في العالم. This is my translation. You may have a better one. I'm sure that you are better than me. Okay? Now let's move to the last part of our lesson today, which is translating two sentences from Arabic to English language. Okay? You may find the kind of difficulty in such kind of exercise, but I'm sure you can do it. Translate the following two sentences into good English. There's something very important here, is the following. Don't worry. Everything here in these sentences, okay, has already been seen by you. Why? Because these sentences are taken from your Over to You textbook series. They are translated by us, and your burden, your task here, or your responsibility is to go back and translate them into English, the way they are presented in your books. Let's have a look at the first sentence. Of course, this task will be allotted 4 marks. This is my sentence. تعتبر القيم الأسرية جزءا أساسيا لأسلوب الحياة في الشرق الأوسط وتوفر مقوما للعيش. Now the sentence that you are going to produce and to give, okay, maybe it should be, or it should resemble, okay, the sentence that you will have in your book. But be sure that the sentence is in your Over to You textbook series. No word is given to you outside this book in this task. Let's go back. So, تعتبر القيم الأسرية جزءا أساسيا لأسلوب الحياة في الشرق الأوسط وتوفر مقوما للعيش. Let's focus on some maybe difficult words. For example, let's talk about القيم الأسرية. All of you have read something or have dealt in your classes with your teachers, okay, about family values. القيم الأسرية. Maybe we can talk about أسلوب الحياة. Again, you have seen this word. It is one of the active words that you have in your Over to textbook series grade 12. Lifestyle. مقوما للعيش. Maybe مقوما is something not familiar, okay, to you. It could be translated into basis for living. مقوما للعيش, basis for living. Now let's go back now to the sentence in Arabic. تعتبر القيم الأسرية جزءا أساسيا لأسلوب الحياة في الشرق الأوسط وتوفر مقوما للعيش. after taking some words that need to be translated, okay, into English language in order to make the task easier for you, let's now have a look at my translation. This is the same sentence that you will find in your books. So don't worry, please. Family values are an integral part of the Middle Eastern lifestyle and provide a basis for living. Again, family values are an integral part of the Middle Eastern lifestyle and provide a basis for living. Okay? This is the best translation. Why? Because it is there in your books. You may give something that resembles, and you may get full mark, but this is the best translation. Let's move now to the second sentence. كان الرجال قديما هم فقط من يمثلون الكويتيين في الحكومة، أما اليوم فهنالك العديد من النساء ينتخبن ليخدمن بلادهن في البرلمان, which means مجلس الأمة. Okay? Now I think, or I guess that there are no difficult words. كان الرجال قديما هم فقط من يمثلون الكويتيين في الحكومة، أما اليوم فهنالك العديد من النساء ينتخبن ليخدمن بلدهن في البرلمان, which means مجلس الأمة. Let's have a look at the translation. In your books, you have the same sentence. Traditionally, only men had represented Kuwaitis in the government, but nowadays there are several women elected to serve their country in parliament. Again, traditionally, only men had represented Kuwaitis in the government, but nowadays there are several women elected to serve their country in the parliament. Now, our lesson is over. Let me remind you of what we have dealt with today. Today, I have dealt with reading comprehension. I talked about some of the strategies that I always advise my students to deal with. I have advised you to look or have a look at the questions before even looking at the reading comprehension text. And I have already said that this strategy will help you in, first of all, having an overall idea about the reading comprehension. Why? Because as a student, your level gives you the chance to concentrate on sentences more than reading comprehension passages. The second gift that this strategy gives you is that you will save time. When you read the sentences or the questions, you will keep the questions in your minds. You will go to the reading comprehension. While reading, you answer. While reading, you give your answers. As soon as, or as far as you end your reading comprehension, you will go back to the questions. You will find yourself that you have already answered all the questions without losing time or wasting time. Then we move to summary making. Okay, summary making question is very easy. You are required to give 4 sentences with words and sentences from your own. You get the general idea of the sentences, and you are required to express yourselves in good English by using linkers, cohesive devices, in order to have unity in your paragraph or your summary making. The last question is about translation. We have seen 2 kinds of translation. The first question is from English to Arabic. I guess it's very easy to you, okay, because you are able enough to express yourselves in your mother tongue. And the second question is about translating Arabic sentences to Arabic sentences into English. Okay? What makes this task easier is that you have already seen the same sentences in your books. I hope that I have been convincing during my lesson today. I hope that you have benefited in my lesson. I wish you good luck in your future endeavors, and thank you for watching.